Enyimba would do for defense without that man. Because he is so uncompromising and so effective, like you said, Kelechi, at what he does. That's to do again for Aqua United. That was Chinedu Doji that put his opposite number up his strides there. And nothing Cyril Olusegun could do.
Not against that guy. He does it so cold-heartedly that, I mean, he doesn't give any quarters. The Enyimba captain, absolute legend. You can say what you like about him, but for years and years, he's turned out to be a rock in the middle of that Enyimba defense. And I can't remember the last time he got injured.
Neither can I, Kelechi. Chimakas. Well, the throw-in was taken right in front of me, but for the life of me, I don't know what he did wrong, except that the first assistant, his name is Muruf Aromona, has given the free kick the other way to Aqua United. Enyimba on the back foot the last 5 minutes or so. There Aqua come again. Bongekpai does the obvious. Mansuedo Udoji again, flying in with that tackle. There was nobody to tackle except the ball, and he attacked the ball with that clearance. Smooth football from Aqua United now. They need to build on that. This Oliseme taking care of his man, taking care of a second, and decides to go for goal. And maybe he was getting carried away, but he had Ubongekpai to his right, and a couple of other blue shirts inside the box.
But having done this, I thought after taking care of Chimakas, he had every right to shoot there. Abalogo came back, deflected that one into corner. He really killed it nicely. Took it for once beyond Kesta. This was good too.
Welcome back. Good game of football. Aqua United and Enyimba in that one. That goal, I mean, that game produced just one goal, but was the kind of game that you would be expecting to see more goals, but it just turns out that was only one goal scored, and Enyimba were victorious in that game. Like we said earlier, we've seen 19 sets of matches. First stanza over, and now we will be moving into the second stanza. But before that, let's talk about the rescheduled matches played. Stories around Enyimba and Warri. But let's talk about the scoreline first.
Yeah, really, a very interesting game yesterday. Difficult one for the host Enyimba. The taking over, it won 2-1. I mean, Piagbara scored 55 just in the first minute of the game, and then Wolves came back with 6 minutes before the break, and then Andrew Balogun came off the bench to score the winner for Enyimba. But most important thing for Enyimba is for them to get the maximum 3 points, and that result moved them to second on the log.
Yeah.
And every other teams are really worried now, because the moment Enyimba got into the mix, is always going to be a very long game.
Yeah, and they still have one or two,
two games
matches left, and the steady rise. A lot of people, we always knew they weren't going to be in the bottom half, but yet we didn't expect them to come up this fast.
Well, they have two games. This Wednesday they play Wiki Tourists in Bauchi, then they have a derby against Abia Warriors in Omaha. So, give or take, if they're able to get one or two,
win a draw,
they can, overtake Rivers United. Enyimba, I said it, they have depth. They've got decent players, quality players that can deliver. But, they dropped some points at home against Heartland and also Lobby. In fact, against Lobby, they had to equalize in the dying minute. Then against Heartland, they dropped some points. So if they had won those games, they would have been home and dry. But it's not too late for them. It's not a bad result for them. Steady rise, like Toby said. Pillars are still there. Sunshine Stars are still coming up. So I think the season is not over. Any team out of these three, we have seen the way they have progressed. Pillars may not have done well, You know, apart from the away point they pick from Sunshine Stars in Akure, MFM in Lagos, they've not been decent on the road. So they too need to, you know, step up their game. Sunshine Stars have impressed. You know, this
magic.
Yeah. Okay, and you really did not give him any chance to.
We'll get to talk about all of that later. But let's talk about an appointment that has been made. You were talking about it before we came on. Nduka Ogbade, appointed as Remo Stars.
Technical advisor of Remo Stars. You know, I think Remo Stars are a decent side, well structured. If you have followed them, you know, the owner of the club is, you know, also owns a club in Europe. He's a part owner of a club in Europe. So I think he's trying to replicate the same thing here. And
same structure.
These are, you know, proprietors we should encourage to make things, you know, work well. And they have appointed Nduka Ogbade. You know, for me, it was a surprise that after he came back from the World Cup, he didn't go back to MF. I don't know what happened. That one is in the past now, but he has joined forces with Remo Stars. And from what I read, he said, you know, he was on the bench against the mighty one Delta Force. He said, in fact, some of the Premier League clubs don't have the kind of structure that he saw at Remo Stars, and he has seen decent players. We just wish him all the best. You know, we need more of that kind of clubs in the Nigerian league.
All right, let me drag you to speculation. Kennedy Boboe, is he leaving Abia Warriors? That's what a lot of people are talking about. I mean, his performance this season has taken him to the Super Eagles. His club is doing well. This is somebody that left Sunshine, and now a lot of people are saying after 19 matches he might just be leaving again.
Yeah, really, I think it's going to be a bitter, you know, rumor in the heart of, you know, Abia Warriors management. Because
they will not like to hear.
The matter is, I was in Ohumaya on match day 19, and this rumor was very, very strong that Aqua United are knocking on the doors of, you know, Kennedy Boboe, currently away with the Super Eagles. He has done well for himself. Last season, you know, did well with Sunshine Stars. They were unlucky, finished outside, you know, top 4. This season also they've been doing greatly, apart from, you know, that shocking result against Sunshine Stars, and then how the table rearranged after Giwa expulsion. But you really need to give it to Kennedy. Kennedy has really, you know, taken a lot of rise, take a lot of, you know, step up, you know, in about 2 years, and he moved to Aqua United. I don't really fancy it, you know, better than what he would achieve at the end of it at Abia Warriors, because I saw the team, they play with a lot of intensity, with a lot of cohesion. If he stays on the job at Abia Warriors, they might finish well among the top 4 teams. But Aqua United, the job will come with a lot of pressure, because he will be going there with a lot of pressure, and they will demand more from him. But, you know, sometimes transfer is all about the big cash.
Okay, all right. Is that period in the season where you talk about transfer speculations, done deals? It's not just the players that are involved, coaches are involved as well. So we'll just give that to you. You can take it to the bank. Nduka Ogbade has joined forces with Remo Stars. Well, for Kennedy Boboe, nobody knows his next move. We will have to wait for him to come back. But of course, you know that he's in hot demand. So we'll just leave it at that. But let's talk about Shooting Stars right now. Everybody agrees that Shooting Stars needs to do something differently. Whatever they've been doing surely is not working. And I've been hearing a lot of things that Toby has been putting out there, but you're saying what they need is a coach.
Yeah, really, a coach. You know, veteran Kadri Kana left after a lot of, you know, trouble moment, and then Friday Christopher took over in 4 games. He did well, you know, lost to Aqua United, won against Abia Warriors, won an FA Cup game also. But you can take Friday Christopher doesn't have that big charisma to take this. You know,
the club as big as Shooting.
And also in this difficult moment, if it is when the club is enjoying a lot of, you know, good run of games, it will be